Hello everyone, I'm Thrash Maniac HD, and I have a little bit of a discussion video for this time around. But before I get into the discussion, I just want to clear the air on that rant video I did the other day. To be honest with you, I was kind of a little bit overreacting whenever I made that video, because it was shortly after the whole Chris Hero release thing, but I still stick by my opinion where I say that if WWE did release Chris Hero because he wasn't in shape is bullshit in my opinion, because from what I saw with him on NXT, he's as skinny as a freaking twig. So if they released him because he's quote unquote not in shape, it's bullshit in my opinion, but it is what it is. We'll see if he'll ever come back or whatever. I want him to come back, because it's a damn shame that he got released a year and a half after being signed and not having one appearance on the main roster, but it is what it is. And then also I stick by my opinion that what WWE's doing with pushing bigger guys, unless it's Roman Reigns and some certain big guys who need a chance, then by all means do it with them. But with like Great Khali and Big Show, unless this is Big Show's final run, then there's no point in this. So yeah, I still stick by that opinion, but you know. But anyways, now on to the discussion video. As you see in the title below, this is going to be a discussion about whether or not WWE should bring back the brand extension. Now, most of us would know that the brand extension started around a little bit after WrestleMania 18 in 2002, where you had so many people from WCW and ECW on the roster, and they needed to do something to make sure those guys get a chance to be on TV, and thus the brand extension was born. Also, when they do the draft, and it was awesome. Anytime they did the draft, I was always looking forward to it, because I loved the draft. But yeah, and so yeah, that was when the brand extension really began, and it is pretty much gone now, and it started rapidly dissolving by the time they started doing the Raw Super shows in like late 2011, and then pretty much since last year the brand extension's been pretty much gone, and it is really pretty much dead now. And the reason it's dead is because, yeah, they were doing the super shows, and then it got to the point where SmackDown guys would be on Raw, and Raw guys would sometimes be on SmackDown, thus pretty much killing the brand extension. So yeah, and also with how crowded the roster is right now, with so many guys you got on the roster, it's hard for every one of them to be on TV a lot. And you know, with Raw being 3 hours, you would think, oh, we're going to see more guys be on TV, when really it's just been nothing but more promos, more stupid shit, and all that. So yeah, you would think since Raw was 3 hours now, we'd see more guys be on the show, but sadly we have not seen it yet. But yeah, so for me, I want the brand extension to come back, specifically for the reason of having all the people be on TV instead of being not shown a lot and then eventually they're gone, which is really stupid. Guys like Kurt Hawkins and JTG and a bunch of guys like that who are never ever really on TV, or rarely are, but yeah, so you got a lot of guys who have not been on TV in a while that should, so they can have a chance to get some mainstream exposure, and that's why I think the brand extension needs to be coming back. Also, with having 2 world titles right now, with having Randy Orton be the WWE champion and John Cena being the world heavyweight champion, it's killing the credibility a little bit for the championship belts, because really the belts are made for other guys to have a shot at it, like Daniel Bryan getting a shot at, CM Punk, and a bunch of that stuff. So with having nothing but John Cena and Randy Orton being those champions all the time, it kills the credibility of the championship as far in terms of having other people have the belt rather than just having it on the same people every single time. Plus, also with the Intercontinental and United States titles, they don't really get that much exposure as far as, like, the quality of matches like we had back in the 80s and the 90s, early 2000s, whenever the Intercontinental title meant something. Like, the Intercontinental title was that belt to where if you have that Intercontinental title and you're good enough, you're going to be world champion. That's what the Intercontinental title was for a long time. Now the World Heavyweight title is like the Intercontinental title. It's like whoever's World Heavyweight champion, they're going to be WWE champion, basically, almost. So the World Heavyweight title's basically become the new Intercontinental title, and so on and so forth. And the U.S. title doesn't get a lot of exposure, but then again, it's basically kind of a third-tier title, almost. So what I think they should do, unify the Intercontinental title and the United States title, and have the Intercontinental title be the main mid-card belt. And so yeah, unify those belts. And as far as maybe unifying the world titles, to be honest with you, in theory they should, but at the same time, with how many people you got in the roster, you need to have 2 world titles, specifically because of how big the roster is, and getting chances at a world championship, whether it's the big gold belt or the WWE title. So I would have for Raw, have the World Heavyweight title be on Raw, and the WWE title be on SmackDown, because for me, I would rather have the World Heavyweight Championship be on Raw, because to me, the World Heavyweight title, in my own eyes, it means more than the WWE title, specifically because of the prestige behind the World Heavyweight title, specifically because it's the fucking big gold belt. And really, the best looking world title should be on the main flagship show, Raw. Because I still am sticking by my opinion that the WWE title looks like shit. In my opinion. I mean, I know there's going to be people who are going to disagree, and I respect that, but it's just not my cup of tea. It's just, I prefer the spinner belt over that damn bronzy piece of shit looking belt, in my opinion. So, have that title be on SmackDown, and the World Heavyweight title be on Raw, and then you can have the Divas Champion, the Tag Champion, and the Intercontinental Champion fight on both shows, so that way we'd see a lot of competition with those belts. So yeah, that's how I would do it for the brand extension, and also with how the shows are, it's basically now an A show and a B show. Like, Raw's the A show, SmackDown's the B show, and you got main event, which is like the C show, and Superstars being like the D show. NXT, it's its own thing, really. So I don't count NXT on this thing, because it's its own little world. So yeah, Raw's the A show, SmackDown's the B show, main event's the C show, Superstars is the D show. Really, when the brand extension was strong, it was 2 A shows, and there was a lot of times where Raw was supposed to be better than SmackDown. For a while, SmackDown was better than Raw, because Raw was very promo heavy, and SmackDown had a lot more wrestling and more interest in storylines. So SmackDown for a long time was better than Raw up until about the time they started doing the Raw Super Show. So yeah, that's why the brand extension needs to be back, because it's just bogus to have Raw guys go on SmackDown, SmackDown guys go on Raw, so on and so forth. And the fact that and I just got a tweet. Oh well, but yeah, the brand extension should come back, so that way we can see more guys have a chance to shine, and for the Intercontinental title to mean something again, to the point where whoever on whatever brand, say a SmackDown guy, has the Intercontinental title, then they're going to be the next WWE champion. Or a guy from Raw wins the Intercontinental title, and boom, they're going to be World Heavyweight Champion, and so on and so forth, vice versa. So yeah, for me, the brand extension should come back, and the draft should come back, and stuff like that. So yeah. But yeah, that's my opinion about the brand extension and why I think it should come back. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you guys think WWE should bring back a brand extension? If you think so, make a video talking about it or leave a comment below. I would honestly like to hear from you guys through video about what you guys think. Spread this video around, and that would help out a lot for this discussion. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Peace.